This is 2OF Entertainment.
What could be more reprehensible than two old farts? Three old farts featuring Dave and Steven and Greg Shapiro with funny ha-ha.
Yeah. Funny ha ha.
Joke number one. There's not
Yeah.
three of us today.
Oh, right. Well, it's so it's just me. Well, it's just my split personality and your good self. Then is that what you're trying to tell us?
Hey, if you have split personalities, then maybe we could act like it's three. We normally have Steven.
Yeah. Well, I don't think anybody can be. I think he's quite. I think he's the sort of person that you can't easily replace, and I think you have to evaluate that statement. However you wish.
However, I wash.
Yeah, wash even. Yeah. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's because
Well,
I had a
that's
chance to
fair.
see. I had a chance to see your commode before we started, so I was the lucky one. So
Oh
I got,
yeah.
I was wishing
That's
and washing.
yeah.
So,
We're trying to use less water, while washing.
yeah.
That's the theme
So
of the show is
yeah,
trying to be climate, but also trying to be funny. Haha. How did we come up with the name Funny Haha?
my mother when I used to make stupid remarks when I was a child. She used to say to me, "Is that funny, ha ha, or is that just funny, peculiar?"
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So meaning that
I
it wasn't funny. Then it would
I
say.
aim for funny peculiar, but it frequently ends up funny haha.
Yeah, which is I think is means that
Not
you're
intentional.
reasonably successful because you are a professional comedian. So if nobody was laughing, um, you'd have to get a real job then, wouldn't you?
I do wonder about that sometimes. Yes. My itinerary is funny peculiar lately, and
Yeah.
I have had, let's see, a week off to transport a whole house full of dead woman's property to France, where we have a lot of storage space, and so that had to happen in the first week of
Did you
July. Yeah,
did you kill this particular person? Is that what are you owning up to this now live on
I
the
think
internet?
according to my wife, did I somehow kill her mother?
Yeah.
You
Well, you
forgot to
probably
bring the thing and you were late and you're killing your mother, or you're killing your
yeah
mother-in-law. um, I've heard that indeed before,
yeah.
but fine. She spoke Dutch, so I'm sure even if she's looking down hearing these strange remarks, it's not going to be
Yeah.
offensive. But anyway, yeah, death in the family. So
So she. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But I mean, on the plus side, of course, you managed to have a truckload of stuff that you could bring down to France, as you
yes,
do. I mean, and you could have, done something else with it, but you've decided to bring it to France. Was it
of course we can't part
with
with
the
any of
French?
it.
With the
So
French crying out for it, they said like, "Please
yeah.
bring that dead lady's stuff to
The
France."
point was here that I had one show in The Hague, in the Netherlands, this past Saturday. So I had to rush back and do this show. Was it worth it to go to drive all the way back? It's like 10 hours,
Yeah,
which to Steven from Texas, would be like, oh, that's the next town over.
yeah,
But uh, yeah, we did fill up another car load of stuff and drove that back as well. So this is how funny bizarre my life is right now. And just now we've unpacked a carload of things to realize that the uh, bag with the bolts and nuts and chair legs or sofa legs was left back in Amsterdam. So
So it's another 10-hour drive, or you can find
yeah,
some nice people to
yeah.
to give it to DHL so they can lose it. And
That's possible. I'm thinking maybe it would be funny just to assemble the sofa with none of the connecting pieces and wait for someone to just sit on it and watch it fall apart completely. And then
Oh,
we can just say,
oh, oh.
what did you do?
You
You're
you are
killing
you
your
are
life.
a comedian. You said, "Look, I'm a comedian. I got to make people laugh. Come
I
on, I'm
know
laughing."
yeah. So yeah, well, it was in The Hague where I performed, and I couldn't help notice that the U.S. president had passed through The Hague for the NATO summit just a couple weeks ago. So,
Yeah.
uh, so
They were
that
they were still removing. Well, obviously, of course, when you went to The Hague,
yeah,
I mean, I know you a little bit through the
yep,
years now, and I know that I would imagine that when you drove into The Hague and you saw all that security and all the fencing and everything, you
yeah.
obviously thought that was for your gig.
Yes, right. Yeah. These days, you don't know who is going to be offended, and they might work with the U.S. FBI or Justice Department. So you better get
Yeah.
your safety lined up. I did not drive into The Hague, which one does not
No.
do. I took the
Oh,
train,
okay.
and yeah, but indeed, for the week of the NATO summit, trains canceled, highways were shut down, the airport was locked down. So that was the funny
But
thing. I
yeah,
think
it
it was
was
my
worth
favorite.
it. It was worth it.
Yes,
That's what I kept
of
hearing on the
course.
Dutch news. It was
Of
worth
course,
it.
it was worth it
It was
for
worth
the
it. Because
yeah,
Daddy, Daddy
daddy.
had to be looked after,
Yeah, yeah.
and he was. Yeah.
No, that's true. So let's come back to the daddy remark, or start with it. Fine. I actually I started doing my. I introduced the show on Saturday night, and Dutch guy from the audience just yells out, "Talk about how Mark Rutte called Donald Trump daddy, and maybe that's because Donald Trump likes to do it with younger children." Like,
All right.
thank
So
you,
it's so
sir.
the
Yes, I will.
QAnon has got to the Hague then, by the sound of
Oh,
it.
for
So
sure, yeah. Oh, but not
yeah,
the yeah. Uh,
yeah.
no proof. There's no. It's
No, no,
there are
no.
no
I mean, it would be
files.
difficult, I think, for Mr. Trump to do anything before he had Mark Rutte's head surgically removed from his anal cavity. I think
Yeah.
because that was the biggest issue.
Well, so this was
Just saying that, I mean,
the big takeaway for those of you who are watching this years from now or didn't get the news memo. Donald Trump visited the NATO summit in The Hague. He was in the country for just 24 hours, but in that time, the Dutch royal family managed to make Trump feel welcome and, dare I say, spoiled and grovel. So a lot of the progressives in the Netherlands were, vomiting into their handbags. But then came Mark Rutte, the current head of NATO, and also groveling. Now, groveling to Trump is no guarantee that you're going to get what you want, but not groveling guarantees you do not get what you want. And
yeah.
so this is where the phrase came up. What was it? Mark Rutte said off the cuff. Russia and Ukraine are fighting, and Mark Rutte said sometimes Daddy has to come in and tell the kids to stop fighting.
Yeah, that's it's got but nobody heard that. Of course, he was talking about kids. What's he saying about kids? Yeah, kids fighting in the schoolyard, and then Daddy
Yeah,
has to come in
yeah.
and stop them. Yeah.
So it was Mark Rutte, jokingly, or what's the
Well,
word?
you and I have been citizens of this country for quite a number of years, and we know
Yeah.
that Mr. Rutte is not one who is not renowned for his sense of humour. Let's put it that way. So,
He has indeed. I don't need to go over those. Him talking about Zwarte Piet while Barack Obama
yeah,
was visiting.
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, just yeah.
Foot in mouth
Well,
disorder.
let's not even go down that road because that's a conversation I have every year.
Yeah,
Because I can remember on British TV on a Saturday evening there was a show called the Black and White Minstrel Show
oh,
where it was but there was all all the cast was all white and
what year
the
was
lady
this?
this got to be the late 60s
Late
70s.
'60s. Okay.
So So all the ladies were white. They were singers and dancers, and all the men were also white, but they were blacked up like
Uh,
L. Johnson.
uh, Al
And
Jolson.
this was considered to be
Yeah.
normal.
Right.
Um, and then
Mainstream.
all of a sudden, somebody said, "We know that's just absolutely 100% wrong, and racist." So eventually they took it off, and other things that happened in the 60s and 70s, you couldn't do anymore.
Yeah.
And so when I found out this whole Swata Pete thing, I said,
Uh,
"What? So there are white people going around,
yeah.
blacking themselves up?"
Once a year. Yeah.
And so I always say to when this or whatever he gets all excited about, I said, "Yeah," I said, "let's go out and celebrate the old slave trader," and
Yeah.
yeah. But of course, I made the mistake, Greg, so because somebody asked me, "Don't you have any traditions in England that you're a bit embarrassed about?" And I said, "Well,
Ah.
yeah." I said, "We do have five November where we burn Catholics, but that's got nothing to do with anything else. That's just Guy Fawkes,
Yes.
Yeah, he just
The
happened to be a Catholic, but
November 5th, Guy Fawkes Day. I didn't realize that. I do know, well, in the Netherlands, golly, wait a minute. Sorry, I'm going back to your talk about the minstrel show, the black and white
yeah,
show.
the black and white minstrel show, yeah.
I was thinking like, oh, it's not like there were that many people of color,
Oh
black
God,
people in the country at that
yeah,
time. But then again, the 60s was the big influx of immigration from the
yeah,
former
yeah.
colonies, right?
Yeah, late 50s, early 60s, because they
Yeah.
came and worked because there wasn't anybody on the railways and on the buses. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so,
The problem
but
specifically was in the Netherlands when little kids, I mean, because they would celebrate Sinterklaas in the Netherlands
yeah,
and
yeah,
also in December. And the problem was when my little child, who was like 3 years old, would see someone in blackface giving out candy at
yeah,
school or on TV, and then our neighbor who was dark skinned and had the curly hair as well. When a 3-year-old child says "Svarta Pete" to a
yeah,
black person, I think that is even the white parents were kind of like, "Oh, that's
yeah,
that's embarrassing for everyone." So maybe that, but indeed, Mark Rutte, was prime minister also during 2020 when the Black Lives Matter happened, and for all the embarrassment, it is fair to say that Mark Rutte, the Dutch prime minister, when he was in power, did kind of facilitate this new era of, okay, maybe soot on the face, but there's no or the afros are, no nose rings,
yeah,
no ruby red lips.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So
And then now I think there's a compromise,
yeah.
where they just like have like all different colors, rainbow peats and everything else, and they just
Yeah,
put
fair
different
enough.
colors
Oh, I
on.
know, and some people are offended by the rainbow, the no woke
Yeah,
Pete's, but
yeah.
it was
But
weird for a
it's
long time. It was the Netherlands was this most open and tolerant society for what 361 days of the year, but for a few
yeah,
days every year, they're just more
yeah.
racist than everyone put together. Uh,
It's strange because I remember I watched a film. I think of somebody dressed up as Swatapee. They were in Hyde Park in London around this
oh
period,
yeah,
and
yeah,
and we said, "Well, what do you think about
as
this?"
a
I mean,
stunt.
people were just wrong,
Yeah.
just wrong.
Yeah.
Hey,
And it is so
hey,
fun indeed to judge judge other people based on your current day
yeah. As I
society.
say, so every time I make a remarks now about it's
Yeah,
the old slave trader again.
right.
Now that as I say, I'm now giving some friend and family the opportunity to throw back. Oh, and what day were you burning Catholics on this year?
Yep,
So
yep.
so
Uh,
there's always something happening.
that is good.
So,
Well, so back to Mark Rutte and Trump. I mean,
and who's the
sorry.
daddy? Who's the daddy? Yeah.
Well, before that, don't forget when Trump had Mark Rutte in the White House during the first term.
That
It was
sounds
Trump
so
saying
bad, Greg. Would you like to rephrase that, please? That
Sorry,
sounded so bad.
had. Oh, yeah. When Mark Rutte visited Donald Trump in 2017 or 18, yeah, that was when Trump was saying, like, oh, we're going to have some great trade deals. Or no, we won't finalize any deals, but that'll also be great. Mark Rutte cannot help his Dutch bullshit detector when he just could have held his tongue, but it kicked in and he just blurts out, no, not good news. And so that's the relationship that they kind of have. Sometimes Rutte will jokingly hint at some truth or some hard, will he play the tough love father role? Who's the daddy now? But indeed, yeah. At the NATO summit at the end of June, everybody thought, what did we really get out? What did NATO get out of this deal?
They got the check. They got
Yeah.
the check, I think.
There was that, but will there be U.S. weapons going to Ukraine? So Trump gets back and says, "Oh, turns out no, we're not going to give those weapons to Ukraine." Then I don't know if you've heard, but Trump never okayed that decision. That was just the Fox News host heading the Pentagon.
Well, that's the guy with all the tats. Is it the one?
Yes. The Christian nationalist, or if you will, nationalist Christian, or Nazis for short. And
he looks like one, doesn't he? He looks like
he's got white pride.
Welcome to your new neighbor. Welcome to your new neighbor. That's like,
yeah, but fine. So now Rutte, yesterday, Mark Rutte, head of NATO, is back at the White House and didn't say anything inappropriate, so I'm told, and the deal is back on. So yes, Ukraine will get more weapons.
Yeah, I heard that. I think I was watching that this morning. I think
is that funny?
It was funny. It was funny, peculiar, because Mr. Trump said, "Oh, and I'll let Mark explain that." And I thought, wow. Then their relationship has truly blossomed. That now Trump doesn't want to say anything, and he's letting somebody else say it. So I understand the gig is that all the NATO countries that have got all these weapons, they can now give them all to the Ukrainians, and then they can order new stuff from the US and pay for them, because they're not going to ship all the stuff out of the US because it's already in Europe.
Military-industrial complex will do quite well in this deal.
Yeah.
I mean, here's, not funny at all is that, there have been awful headlines coming from everywhere, but it's easy to sort of blink and miss the fact that Russia's attacks on civilians in Kyiv is bigger than ever, or, they're really ramping up these attacks. Yeah, which is gross. And anyway, so over here in Europe, it's a reminder that these little stupid conversations, I guess it helps. It helps to insert yourself into the orange anus, as you were saying.
Yes.
Yeah. So to fuck her up. Hey, I wanted to shift gears and
shift those gears, Mr. Shapiro. Shift them.
I talk about climate, that's my thing, but specifically
was that before or after you drove down to France twice?
I know. Yeah. With my EV.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's fair enough then.
Well, I'll talk about EVs coming up.
Okay, all right, go on then.
Yeah.
I'm just teasing.
Yeah, I did. Anyway,
climate.
There was a category that I came up with, and we were talking about stupid good news. And this is what we were talking about your home situation with having a solar panel array on your roof, and then having to literally pay the price now.
We will do when the contract runs out in a year or so.
Generating too much electricity, but it's all about the grid. And so anyway, the big news this week that I've heard about from other sources as well is, the Netherlands is now rationing electricity to ease the stress on the power grid. And so that is indeed too much of a good thing, is problematic, as it turns out. Have you seen this article?
Yeah. The other thing is that I was reading that every time that they go and because people don't like all these overhead cables, so they think, well, what we'll do, we'll dig all these trenches and put all this copper cables in, But before they can sort of backfill the trenches, the cables get stolen. So
Yeah.
it's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. It's the groundhog stealing them, isn't it?
That's what it is.
Groundhogs are making a fortune.
Yeah.
I still remember that even when they had overhead wires in Edinburgh, I went to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival one year, and again there were delays with this new tram line that was supposed to connect the airport to city center, and it finally happened. But there was a fellow with a Scottish accent to explain to me, perhaps why there were some overruns and some delays because the spools of copper wire sometimes they just went missing. And he went into specifics about how these copper wires kept going missing. And I said, it seems like you know a lot about how these wires are going missing. And then he just took a quick pause and he said, I'm an opportunist.
An opportunist.
When the groundhogs are stealing the copper wires in the Netherlands,
it sounds like what you talk about. I like all stealing all these copper wire. It's like you're looking at, you think, oh, that's a wire that goes to a plug, but these are huge, big spools of wooden spools. I mean, what are they doing? Are they, they just literally truck up with a large truck and roll this stuff on, and nobody blinks an eyelid?
I mean, don't honestly know. Or are they, finding the trench and pulling it out of the trench on their own wooden spool? That it's an awkward moment, where the whole electricity grid needs to be drastically upgraded, I suppose, and that's going to require a whole lot of cables in the sky, and not in my backyard. And in your backyard, they're maybe digging trenches and stuff. What is your situation again? You've got solar panels, but no battery, not enough.
Yeah, no battery. But that was a consideration. But now, of course, there's loads of scams going on with these batteries.
Oh,
so lots of people been bullied into taking these contracts. Do you remember the good old days when somebody would come round and sell you a vacuum cleaner on your front door, or double glazing?
Yeah.
Then we're back to that sort of tactics.
Oh.
Because obviously people. What will happen is when our contract runs out, they're then going to charge us to put the stuff back into the system. Now you can do two things. You can either
when your contract for the solar panels runs out.
No, well, we have an electricity contract which is fixed for 3 years. Sorry,
your energy.
But to be honest, the investment, we were looking at over let's say an 8-year period. We're going to be like 2 or 3 years short on getting our money back.
Oh, yeah.
So I think what a lot of people are going to do that they're just going to switch them off.
Yeah, and then because like if you have to pay for excess energy that
that you don't use,
you're giving it to them for free. So you think they would say thank you, but no,
because I think somebody woke up somewhere. I mean, like the thing about it is we've all been very, shall we say, good citizens.
Yeah,
with the electric cars, your electric bikes, putting the sun panels on the roof,
early adapters.
And then they say, oh, no, actually, we kind of got that wrong. We've had a word with Jan in the accounts department, and he says, well, actually, the money should be flowing into us and not flowing out to you as the customer.
Right. Yeah. Well,
so I think that's part of the issue.
I did. Fair enough. I mean, fine. Capitalism. But I do understand how having a grid which goes, from the center to everywhere, that is, that's how the grid works. But all of a sudden, having to reinvent the grid so that it goes out, but also you can take it backwards. I guess that's also
Yeah.
complicated or needs more that costs
Well,
money.
that sounds like a very capitalist explanation.
Also, I mean, well, I was reading the FT article for as far as I got, but it said that this is a lot of other countries are watching the Netherlands because the Netherlands have been
Yeah.
early adapters with bringing all this renewable electricity online and into the grid. And so also the Netherlands is bumping its head against the teething problems or, the bugs in the system. So yes, this is definitely a early, problem with grid capacity and having, I don't know. It quickly gets, unfortunately, more technical than I can understand. But
I mean, we had friends who would go on holiday with the amount of money they'd get back from the electricity.
okay, sure.
So they were paying a lot of money to get it back, and of course,
Yeah,
everybody said, "Well, that's great," I mean,
yeah,
because when the sun's shining, and you don't
yeah.
need a lot of sun. Surprise, surprise, because they're very
No,
efficient.
right.
Then the washing machine goes on, and the dishwashers get everything that we've got in house all goes on
Uh-huh.
to eat it all up.
Ah, yeah.
So yeah, but of course you're producing more. There's only so many pairs of jeans you can wash in a day, so you have this overcapacity,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah,
what's filling the grid up. But
yeah,
there are
yeah,
all sorts of naughty things to go with that as well, because
yeah.
other people have been renting their
Uh-huh.
sun panels,
Oh, yeah.
and so if and that's been also blocking people when they want to move, because
Ah,
the
yeah,
rental that's part of it doesn't belong to the house.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. So
so
what
so if
happens
you
if
don't
you,
want them, you have to you have to take them off.
and that
You know?
costs as well. Like I
Yeah,
didn't think we'd have to pay to have them removed or whatever. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah,
No,
yeah. Because you
unintended
don't.
consequences, definitely. And I
Yeah,
know that the energy companies are having to, like, by the same logic that you have to pay to give your excess energy to the grid, the grid operators have to pay, like Germany, to take all this capacity. Like, we're giving you this energy for free, and Germany's like, oh, how much money shall we charge you for taking this off of your hands, this free
yeah, for
energy?
free. Yeah.
But that keeps happening, and Belgium can only take so much. But so
But
there's,
don't
yeah,
just
there's
one
good news as well, and I'll get to that in a moment.
yeah, just one last thing about this renewables. Do you
Yeah,
think I just can't get my head around the fact that everywhere I look,
yeah,
they have these monster wind turbines, which I
yeah.
don't particularly find ugly or pretty. I'm quite
No, they're huge, yeah,
I'm quite obnoxious to that.
and they're fairly loud if you're close enough. But fine,
Yeah,
there are
yeah.
downsides, I get it.
But the thing is that if the wind blows too much, they switch them off
Uh huh. Yeah, there's also
because
that.
they make too much electricity. Now,
Sometimes that is, yeah, that's an issue. Uh,
and I
and
just think to myself, and what sort of marketing meeting, did they
yeah,
realize that?
yeah. I talked to a
You
guy
know,
who worked at the energy company. His job was to switch off certain specific wind turbines because they were close enough to someone's house or in a field where they were working, and the shadows were, driving people crazy.
yeah,
You can call up the energy company and say, if you have the number of the pole of the wind turbine, they'll shut it down for however many hours until the sun moves, and then they'll switch it back on again. Anyway, there are many reasons that it is also, yeah, crazy when you're driving or looking at an array of wind turbines and some of them are just not working. Like,
yeah,
come on, why do I have to look at
yeah.
this
Well,
monstrosity and
I
some of
mean,
them aren't
yeah,
even doing anything?
and they've all got Siemens written on them as well. So you think somebody made a few bob out of these, you know what I mean? And
Yes.
now all of a sudden they're not working.
There are many.
You
I
know,
love how if you cross the border, as I've just done, going from the Netherlands into Belgium, the turbine blades in Belgium, they're all labeled with red stripes.
yeah,
Uh,
for the birds,
for the birds, I guess, or airplane. Anyway, but in the Netherlands,
paragliders.
no, there's no red stripes for us in the Netherlands. But then when you go
They should
into,
be orange. Should be
yeah, they
orange.
should be orange. Oranje. I guess they just like killing the birds in the Netherlands. But I do love how sometimes if you go into Belgium, they will have a turbine popping up out of the middle of a field, but then they'll paint the bottom bits green, sometimes different shades of green, so
So you don't notice it.
can you camouflage the winter? The wind turbine's like,
Yeah.
nothing to see here. Anyway, until you get to the big red stripes in the sky. Fine. So, are you ready for some grid grid overload? Good news. There's it's all about the batteries now. Apparently, like if they could offer you an actual battery, a home battery. I don't know at that point yet, but
they're going to give you, if you sign on now, you can get a 500 euro discount on. I think there's 6,000 euros now for one kilowatt. Now we use 7 a day, so work out.
Yeah.
So work out how many batteries I need for that, right? So
really?
and now wait for it. This is a moment. They're going to charge you for having batteries and storing the electricity.
How is that? Yeah. Who's charging you? The electric company?
Yeah. Yeah. Because hey, you've got something that they should be giving you, so therefore you have to pay for it.
Oh boy. Okay. Like a fine or a penalty?
Yeah. Well, it's again, if we had a battery and we could store our electricity. The other downside, of course, is it's only 24 hours that you can keep it because, if you try and store electricity, you need masses of space to do it and lots of cooling, etc., etc. So you can only keep it for 24 hours. But
keep what?
Yeah, the electricity.
The power. Okay.
Yeah, the power. Yeah.
And then okay. If the result is that you end up shutting off the solar power,
yeah,
I suppose you could just let them heat up and somehow use the thermal heat for hot water heat. I don't know. Anyway, but cut the cable to the grid.
We just have a switch. Just go into the downstairs, switch it off.
The kill switch.
Kill switch.
Maybe if enough homes start doing that. I was going to shift to small business to industry and big business. That's where the energy battery storage might be different. But anyway, I was just trying to get to a Dutch startup that is called Thermal. No, they're called Saltus, salt with an ES on the end. And they have something called the Thermal Pod, which is a molten salt battery. And I thought that was kind of cool. They say if industry is having a hard time, with the energy costs, these guys could offer a solution. And I don't know if you've heard about the sand battery that they've got going in Scandinavia, but this was on a smaller scale, I think. And it's the Thermal Pod it's a startup, but apparently there are people in the Netherlands working on just this kind of problem.
Yeah, so, funnily enough, I covered that a couple of weeks ago in the Lost Dollar Business Club because it's the storage is like in the form of containers. So the more containers you have, the more salt water that goes in.
Yeah.
So it's really scalable.
Like shipping containers, right?
Yeah. Well, that's that sort of size. But again, it's like no energy company is going to want that if they don't own it.
No, that's true. Yeah, that is interesting. So how it works out with the market is, we'll let the market solve everything. I don't think so.
Yeah, well, they do by sitting on top of everything. It's like everybody thinks the green transition will come from the oil companies. I don't think so.
Yeah, I read about this as more stupid good news that in Rotterdam. Rotterdam is being flooded with counterfeit biofuels. And so you mentioned the green transition. And yes, this is a priority. But, for every good initiative and all these companies changing they're using used cooking oil and used palm oil and things like that. But apparently part of that problem is that the used palm oil is not always used or anyway, there's mislabeling. There are people taking advantage of of what exactly is going into these biofuels. So that is, I don't know, stupid good news. It's good news that we tried it. It's bad news because what do you know? There are teething problems again. Petrochemical companies are closing shop and moving out of the Netherlands, like Gunvor, which I keep seeing as Govna, but that's
it looks like Govna, but it's
the
not
British
Gunvor,
affiliate. And so you know them, and Vinova apparently they are.
Well, I live about where I saw you last. You know, you went right past you went right past it.
You're right.
It's like right in the middle of it. Yeah,
The Port of
Christmas every
Rotterdam.
day. Every night is Christmas. All the lights.
Yes, lights. The whole sky lights up like a Christmas tree. But a lot of refineries, a lot of chemical plants. Yeah, that seems like bad news. That indeed, the whole industry is going through a huge transition, and part of the green transition is that these petrochemical firms that have been the backbone of the economy, local economy, for decades, are now closing shop and moving on.
When they go to places like Hungary and Romania, where
where there
are lots of subsidies and
our middle name.
Lots of subsidies, and they're eager to have. I was reading a thing about Hungary that they want to be the largest place in Europe for making cars. They're doing everything they possibly can. So everything, all the power, everything, it's all going that way. So, if you live in a country like Holland, which is reasonably expensive, and a lot of that expense comes from labor costs because. Again, that's a self-fulfilling prophecy, isn't it? I mean, if I have to pay a lot of money to buy my milk and my meat and my bread, then you need to pay me a lot of money in order to do that. And at a certain point in time, people say, you know what? Oh, we'll just go and move somewhere where it's cheaper. Oh, by the way, so somewhere where they pay us to come as well. Please bring your factory here, and we'll give you tax reliefs for whatever.
Did you happen? Okay, speaking of cheap labor. Did you happen to see this article from Timothy Snyder, the author of On Tyranny, and reported by Heather Cox Richardson, who's the historian / news aggregator? They were talking about the end game of Trump 2.0 and answering that specific question about why are they locking up all these immigrants? Who's going to do the labor? Who's going to pick the vegetables? Who's going to pack the meat? Who's going to mow the lawns? Have you?
gotten that far? No.
Well, so the answer apparently is that it's not like these people who are being rounded up by ICE. They're not all being deported, but part of the budget that they just passed is going to make for-profit prisons the biggest industry in the U.S. or the ICE is going to be the biggest department, and so the new plan apparently gives huge amount of resources to prisons where they will lock up people they don't like, and then rent out their labor services to these corporate interests, which you can read the article. I think Trump even sort of said something to that effect. That's the plan.
Sounds like a winner to me. I'm sure the MAGA people are really happy with that.
But again, if you really want to make labor cheap enough to compete with countries like China, then I guess you need that slave labor.
So you just lock up as many people as you possibly can, and then just say, well, they've locked them up because they're all very naughty. But in order so that they're not so naughty, they have to contribute towards society. Right. So they have to go into forced labor.
Now, they're already doing this to a certain extent, prisons in the U.S., firefighters, like wildfire. Some of the people fighting these wildfires in California are prisoners, and that's the new chain gang. So anyway, but yeah, I think they're just scaling that up. Sorry, that was some bad news. Now, wait, I wanted to finish on some good news. I know Stephen was always excited about EVs and electric vehicles and batteries and such. I have two new bits. One is South Korea, but one is from the Netherlands as well. Which one would you like first?
Oh, let's go for the exciting one first. South Korea.
Okay, it is. You mentioned copper wires earlier, and according to these researchers in South Korea, there is a new there's a new process. They can replace the carbon wiring inside an EV with carbon nanotubes. So they've developed these carbon nanotubes, and they're little mesh, tubes that apparently conduct electricity faster than copper, and they're way lighter. So the big bugaboo about electric vehicles is that they're so heavy. Is maybe no longer a thing, and the connectivity is faster. The car is lighter, so the car is faster, and not so many groundhogs breaking into your car to steal your copper wire. But indeed, it's a precious metal that would not be so in demand, and so that could be
that's been the thing. Everybody was saying, get the smart money's on copper because there's going to be a shortage of it everywhere. But
well, if they can replace the copper wire, and this is only for EVs, I can imagine that perhaps if the actually, I wonder if these mesh tubes could replace the wires even in the sky. Maybe they would be a little bit easier to look at. I don't know. Or certainly if they bury them in your yard, it's not going to be so valuable to dig them up. I hope anyway.
Well, if it makes things lighter, that's the bad. I mean, whoever solves the battery problem, I think in our lifetime, it will become a trillionaire. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Future and such.
And of course, they start building planes as well, which will solve the other problem.
Right. True. There's more news coming from the future of aviation as well. I believe Wuhan, not just known for their germ weapons labs, but Wuhan had a new. I can share that article next time. But they have a new electric battery for airplanes that can generate thrust in a whole new way. But sorry, I'm not. That's for next time. I promised a Dutch example for EVs and BEV batteries. There's the first ever data center that is now powered by used EV batteries, and it's in Nevada, but it's a Dutch company, Crusoe, which has built the power system for this data center in, I think, close to Reno, Nevada. And so again, it's not just Dutch startups, but it's Dutch companies that are doing their thing in foreign countries.
Like the CEO is called Mr. Robinson, I take it. So.
Robinson Crusoe. I don't know why they would have chosen the name. I have to look into that. But apparently, once you're
maybe they've been to Nevada and think, well, it's just one big nothing.
Yeah. Expeditie Robinson. So the survivors of the Dutch Survivor reality show get to go on to power data centers. The funny headline was your old EV battery that got itself down to 80% capacity and is useless is actually quite useful. So it's not battery recycling; it's actually battery repurposing, I guess, is the term. And they come up with these shipping container sized blocks, and if you put enough of those together, then I believe it is how many megawatts? It's like I'll figure it out. I'll look it up. Massive data center powered by Crusoe, and come on, give me the goods. It is slashing emissions. How many gigawatts of power or megawatts? It's in the megawatt range, and lots of money up front. But
I'll share with you after for the end of the show. I'll share with you something I was reading this morning.
Okay.
About the Silicon Valley. Oh, that sounds strange. The Silicon Valley of data centers is now somewhere in Virginia.
Okay.
And it happens to be they want to call some sort of area in Virginia, where they're going to build all these massive data centers, but they're also built that will have to build them over the site of very important Civil War battles.
Oh,
So I'll share that with you. I was reading that this
I
morning.
love it. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And then I have to
yeah.
wrap it up here because we gotta gotta move on.
Going to get a move on, yeah. And just before we go, I'd just like to just throw into the group that I was surprised to hear that even the MAGA people did not like the new Superman movie.
Oh, really?
Because it's about immigrants. It's
Yes,
because
exactly.
he's an immigrant coming to Earth. So
They come here with their superpowers. They want to have super angry babies. They're red, white, and blue. They're not orange. I don't trust them.
So that just I sort of made me laugh and cry at the same time. So that's positive.
They're just now putting together that Superman is an immigrant. Okay.
Yeah.
He's also Jewish. He could be my son-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Well, share that article with me, and if you like, I can share the links that I just mentioned with you.
Okay, that's super, Greg. Thank you so much for the madness. Enjoy yourself in France. Hopefully, we will all be back. No, well, we won't because Stephen's still on his yacht, so he won't be with us for a while. But see you maybe in a month's time. And thank everybody for watching the show. Don't forget to subscribe and like. And until the next time.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks to OF. Bye.
Bye.